Okay, let's face it, the only reason you want a yoke steering wheel is because it's cool. And like Elon, you want to be cool. Okay, cooler than that. Getting closer. Okay, you want to be cool. So why buy a yoke steering wheel? Do you see any of them outside of Formula One or concept cars? Do you see any of them at your local racetracks? No, no, and no. And the reason is because you can drive a car better at the limits with a normal steering wheel. So why buy one? Simply because you want to stand out. You want to be different. You want to be cool. And who doesn't want to be cool? I do. So for me, it was a simple choice between smoking, Halloween night, and buying this yoke steering wheel. Okay, now that that's out of the way, what I'm going to do is give you my initial review after installing it, follow up after a couple weeks of driving it around and using it, and then finally show you how to install it. See below, I'm going to have everything chaptered out so you can skip around as usual. With all of my other videos going on this Christmas season, I lost the unboxing, okay? I lost the unboxing footage, so I'm going to try to show you what this steering wheel came in, this yoke, from Aroham, if that's how you say it, Aroham. Came in this box, packaged really nicely. Lots of foam padding here. Laid in here perfectly, really nice. All the edges padded, and the actual Alcantara was wrapped in this hairnet type thing. So I'm going to show you what the actual steering wheel looks like. There's other pictures and stuff. You'll see it in the install, but I'm going to show you the quality of it. And you know, I'm real happy with how it came out. Looking at, just to show you for comparison, so here is the stock wheel. This is the wheel that I took off from Tesla. And just to give you an idea of, you know, what it looks like on the inside, you know, the inside's not perfect here. I didn't create any of these scratches in here. And the one that I got from Aroham, I don't know, honestly, I don't know where they get them from to build their wheels from, but they, and not that this matters on the inside at all, any of these scuffs or scratches, because this is covered. But the one that I got from Aroham is not, it looks better than this. You know, the wheels and everything I'll show you look just like stock. Everything works and functions just like the factory wheels. So there's no worries there, but yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. So this yoke steering wheel came, and you know, I was pretty impressed with it. Relatively inexpensive and of really good quality, I think. You know, the Alcantara feels as good as anything in the car. The stitching is fine, you know, it's good. I haven't found, okay, let me show you the only, I'm trying to get all the stitching and everything in here. Here are the only imperfections that I found. Okay, on this side, hopefully I can get the lighting right. This side is like, I mean, just, you know, really perfect. These are, this stitching here, you know, this is not going to be absolutely perfect. So, you know, you could feel a little bit of a, just the stitching here sticking up, but that's just how it is. On this side, and you know, this, honestly, when I unboxed this in the garage, even with the light coming, you know, directly on it from this angle, I didn't notice this. I mean, it's a really slight bump, but with the light coming in from above, you can see some shadowing here. And you know, when you run your finger on it, you can feel it. Same thing up here. Very slight, you know, some kind of a, I don't know what to call that. Maybe it's stretched out a little bit or something, but you can feel something there. Stitching is about the same as the other side. So really, that was it in terms of any imperfection. The wheels feel perfect, just like stock. You know, they move back and forth, up and down, scroll around just right. There were no scratches or anything like that. This came from my car. You know, everything up here was just perfect. So overall, really happy with this wheel. Again, especially for the price. And you know, these minor imperfections, I could totally live with this. I mean, it's really nothing. I don't even really put my hands up there at all. I mean, if I have them anywhere, they're around here and down here. And yeah, all of this is just fine. Okay, so prior to the yoke steering wheel, I've been paying a lot more attention to how I'm driving and using my current steering wheel. And let me tell you, I am a little bit nervous about getting the yoke. I do want it. I am going to put it in. Let me show you what's going on. Let me get into position where I have the steering wheel normally. You know, when I'm cruising down the highway, I have my hands usually down here. Long drives, this is not going to be a problem at all. However, driving around town, my hand will be up here a lot when I am going to be using the steering wheel a lot for steering the car. And in parking lots, tight situations, my hand just goes up here. There is no up here on the yoke steering wheel. So what am I going to do? I don't know. Adjust, I guess. That's the biggest problem that I see, is I discover my hand being up here a lot. Also, after turning the wheel and the car straightening out, I let the wheel slide in my hand. I think many people do this. Again, you can't do that with the yoke. This does make me nervous. It does make me nervous, I gotta say. But all I can do is try it out and adjust. Obviously, there are literally thousands of people now with these yoke steering wheels. While people will complain and say that they want their good old-fashioned other steering wheel back, it's not some mass uprising and, you know, the highway safety, IHSTA, coming out and saying that, hey, we got to do something. Everybody's dying driving with yoke steering wheels. So with that said, let's put it on and see what happens. All right, step one, leave your door open, roll your windows down, because we are about to power the car down. And I am in the safety menu, power off. Now we unplug the battery, 12 volt. Okay, I don't know why the car does this, but it always powers back up. Whenever I turn the power off, it just powers right back up like 5 seconds later. What do I have, 5 seconds to do what I need to do? All right, next, this guy. And positive is under there, and negative is here. We're going to disconnect the negative. Another video on this coming soon. Master cylinder brace. And yes, I already have the frunk out, so don't mind that, but you just take off the panel here in order to get at the negative side of the battery. All right, it's disconnected. 10 millimeter. So you do the negative side because messing with the positive side can be dangerous, because if you can imagine, we'll pretend I took that off on purpose. If you're trying to remove the positive side and you accidentally touch the wrench on any part of the car that is attached to the chassis, you will create a short and you will be shocked. You might not actually feel a jolt yourself, but the wrench will create a short, and will probably try to weld itself to whatever you touch. Anyway, that's why you disconnect the ground side first. Much safer, and you just set that aside. Okay, obviously this is the new steering wheel, the yoke, but to install and uninstall the old one and reinstall this one, it's basically the same steps. Now the first thing we have to do is use some type of I'm using an Allen wrench here, but we need something to poke inside these holes here and one on the other side here. And poke something in there. You see that it pushes against these big metal tabs. And what it will release is, if you look in here, it will release the airbag that's sitting here, because the airbag is going to be, there's two big posts that go in here, and that these metal tabs will release it, so we can pop the airbag off. So that's what we're going to be doing inside the car first. Okay, let's get in here. Pushing in, nothing happening. You can feel the tabs. There we go. So that side's out. And this side's out. Ooh. Alright, so here are the posts I was talking about that were being held in by those tabs, and now I need to unplug this yellow plug. Alright, that was easy. Alright, then we've got to get this guy. Alright, I actually had a bit of a hard time getting this one out for some reason, and I had to use this tool to get in here and pry it as I held these clips down like this. So anyway, it should have come out as, you know, like this one did, really easy. Once you get the clips, you just kind of give it a little pull and it comes out. For some reason this side was stuck a little bit more, but you know, not that big of a deal. We got to get this big 10mm Allen bolt out, and for this I've got the big boy. I don't know what this is, 18-inch. Ooh, I'm gonna need a little bit more extension to get in there without hitting the steering wheel. If I can do this now.
Settings.
No. There. Alright, this is not that hard if you get this, like I said, like this big 18-inch breaker bar. This is a 1/2-inch drive. It wasn't that hard to get off. But it would have helped to have the steering wheel locked. Look at that sucker. This is actually thread locker, if I'm not mistaken. Basically keeps it from unthreading. Okay, now all we have to do is pull it off. Voila! Just like that. And I'm getting little metal shavings all over the inside of my car. Great. Time to install the new wheel. So this part should be pretty simple. You can't put this in wrong. If you can see in there, it does have a little keyway that lines up here. There's no real wrong way to do this. Just kind of jiggle it on and get it in there. Oh man, this already feels crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna plug this guy back in, and then I'll put the screw back in. I'm going to just make it tight foot-pounds. How's that for a spec? Try and replicate the amount of effort that I used to take it off to put it back on. Alright. That's tight. This guy back on. It's got some heft to it. And yeah, I don't think you really want to be messing around with this sucker. This airbag goes off and it's not going to be exactly fun. Okay. And then just try to line these 3 posts up. And alright. We're in. Very good. I'm going to plug this guy up. Put the negative back on. God.
Jesus.
What in the hell?
That is permanent ear damage.
Alright, let's try this again. Alright, so that was a lot of fun. It scared the crap out of me and my son, but I don't know what made that horn go off specifically. Somehow the horn was being held down, not clipped in here properly. And as soon as I connected the 12-volt battery, as you guys heard, we just got blasted. And crazy part of the story, though, is I disconnected the battery and the horn was still blaring for a long time. So I pulled this, you know, I used the Allen wrenches again, put it in here, pulled the airbag horn assembly off. Well, as soon as I pulled this off, the horn stopped. And battery still disconnected, 12-volt battery still disconnected. Tried to put everything back on again. It happened again. Okay, so I don't know what clip was being held down, but one of these clips or something was holding this down too far, I guess, and was causing the horn to blare. So I was just basically just looked at it all again, made sure, yeah, those big metal clips were kind of lined up in there the way they should be on the correct sides of the posts, because you could see on the post there's a little indentation where the clips grab into. Put it all back on there again, and no horn. Plug the battery back in, and now we are where we are. Everything works fine. So I don't know what to say about that. I honestly thought maybe there was an issue with the airbag horn or something, like something got messed up, but I couldn't figure out how. So anyway, just took it off twice, put it back on twice, and everything's good to go. So, all right, now let's try to pretend like nothing happened and we're still having fun. All right, yeah, first thing, this steering wheel is pushed way into my legs, because as I'll show in that other picture, the way this is cut, you know, it's not rounded. This is definitely sticking out more. But let me get out of the garage. First thing we got to do is raise this wheel up. This is not good. Steering. But it feels a lot higher. But even though it's higher, this is like so open here. This is awesome. Also strange, these stalks are like sticking up. You used to not even really seeing them at all. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm already like adjusting to this thing. Without even thinking about it, it's like I instinctively knew that there was no, like, wheel up here, this thing. I just knew not to even try to grab for it. So that's a good sign. But yeah, this is very strange. This is really, really strange. First off, I feel like the whole steering wheel just feels like way too high. Okay. This feels normal. Like, this is usually how I drive. I think with my hands this. Oh. Okay. It's actually kind of neat. Like, you grab down here and you feel like you got like leverage. You know, you can't do that with a normal steering wheel. You can't grab a flat spot and turn it. And that's more than enough to get around a 90-degree corner. You know, it's kind of like just instinct. You just pick it up. Like, I know not to let the wheel get out of my hand. So it's really, I don't know. I'm not. I mean, it feels odd, but it's like you just do it. Like, my hands are just instinctively going to other places on the wheel. This is the first time driving the car, taking corners and that. So I totally get where people say, hey, oh my God, this is dangerous. You know, you don't have the normal steering wheel. You don't have as much to grab. But you just kind of know not to grab something that's not there. You just, I don't know. I'm not really having an issue. It just feels different. That's all there is to it. You just have a different steering wheel, or in this case, steering yoke. But man, this is like so like open here. This is fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna sum up the new experience. One word: instinctive, instinctual, whatever you want to call it. It just is. You just do it. You just deal with it. If you need to turn, you know, your hands just go. You don't even think about it. When you do think about it, you realize what your hands are doing. Like, wow, this is way different than I'm used to. What's going on here? But if you don't think about it, your hands just do what they do. Like, you want to turn the wheel, so you just grab the wheel differently. No big deal. The other thing, it's like a new car. This is like a new car. A couple things that, I mean, I've talked about already. This is just wide open. I mean, it's awesome. That looks like it looks brand new. I mean, for some reason, even this looks new. Everything in front of me here looks new. The way this is raised, though, I feel like my seat is even raised. My seat's already as low as it can go. The steering wheel, I tried bringing it down a little bit. The steering wheel is almost, like, right now it's as high as it can go. So, you know, if you feel you got a normal steering wheel, try raising it all the way and see what that feels like. It feels like you're just completely different in your car. And it's so high that, you know, I'm used to the wheel turning here. Now that center is just so much higher. You turn the wheel, it's like, now this is open. It's just, that part feels odd. It's like a truck. So anyway, those are the two main points that I want to bring up, is that I don't think it's necessarily a big safety issue in terms of your driving, because you just grab the wheel and you turn it and you just do it instinctively. You just don't really, you know, it's not some big panic in my head that, oh my God, where's the steering wheel? Where's that upper part I used to grab? You don't even think about it. It's really nothing. And then, yeah, brand new interior. So yeah, this is awesome. Feels great. It feels like nothing's in front of me right now. I feel like I'm sitting on the dash. I don't know how to explain this feeling. This just feels completely different. I feel up more, forward more. But yeah, it's cool. It's like a different car. It's like you just kind of revamped your entire interior just by changing the steering wheel. That's cool. I mean, that is awesome. This is a pretty quick and easy change. It's not super cheap, but it's a pretty easy change to just completely revamp your interior, your view here. That part is awesome. So it's been a few weeks since I've gotten the yoke, and I think it's a good enough amount of time driving around to give a better review of my experience with it. So overall, I'm still really liking it. The view I get, the cool factor really is kind of the biggest the biggest pluses, the biggest reasons why I like this steering wheel. But I'm going to share with you, negatives also here, because honestly, those are about the only positives there are, is that the steering wheel is just, it's pretty cool. The Alcantara is nice, but, I'm talking about the differences between having a normal steering wheel and this yoke, okay? I'm just going to focus on that. Normal driving, where you're just doing, you're driving straight, you're making 90-degree turns, It's still really no big deal, not a big change. However, it's just, you know, without having this top of the wheel here, it's not as great. So for example, I'm taking a left turn, a lot of times I do this, you know, so I don't have grasp of anything there. I could, let me get up to the next corner here. So I could grab it here, but you can't, you know, it's too awkward. So I can't, if I had a normal wheel, I'd be grabbing it here, you know, I'd be doing this, which is a lot more comfortable. So with this, you have to, you know, let me stop here. You have to, you know, you have to do something like this, or, you know, a lot of times I'll grab it underneath and do this, grab it underneath and do this. So I'm used to driving though just left-handed. So now I find myself making left turns with this or having to use my right hand more. Not that big of a deal. It's definitely a change. You're either going to be okay with it or you're not. Some other things. All right, here's another pretty big thing. It's less of an issue with the Tesla and with the full self-driving. A lot of times if I think I need to maybe, I don't know, do something I shouldn't be doing, like grabbing something or needing something where I need both hands, I'll, you know, use my knee to steer the car, right? It's not a great thing, but believe me, I'm only doing this when I'm going straight, but you still have to adjust the wheel. Well, with this flat wheel, you can't, your knee can't really grip it. It's flat. So, you know, you got nothing to really, you know, you can manage, but it's not as nice as having a round wheel down here. So, you know, then you got to use both knees. This is a little bit goofy, but this happens, you know, it's happened a few times where I'm used to just kind of putting my knee there to stabilize the car, and this becomes all of a sudden, this is a weird thing where it's not as good. So, but with the Tesla though, however, if I'm doing anything substantial where I think I'm not going to have full attention on the road, I will hit the full self-driving, the autopilot, because that is way safer than not looking and trying to use your knee. Okay, it just is. Okay, where you've got to be making a lot more maneuvers in parking lots and things like that is where it gets to be a little more burdensome. But again, it's not that big of a deal. You just kind of adjust. You know, there's no more sliding your hand, letting the wheel slide through your hands. You know, that's not the best feeling, honestly. You've got, you know, your hands off the wheel. Can you adjust for that? Of course you can. So then the most important question is, do I feel cool? Well, yeah, I do. I feel really cool now.